The ledger had been missing for decades. A single page, torn and tucked behind the official inventory of the Mason estate, whispered a name no historian had dared to speak aloud. Jabari Mansa. Not in records, not in censuses, not in the polished accounts meant to erase him. The few willing to face what history tried to bury would find a story of survival, betrayal, and power stripped from memory. A man whose life was counted in silence, whose existence had been deliberately unrecorded.
Before we begin this story, if you're drawn to the dark stories that history tried to erase, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the stories we uncover every week. And let us know in the comments which state you're watching from. We love seeing how far these forgotten stories are reaching. The year is 1764, Tidewater, Virginia. The air hangs heavy with salt from the nearby estuary, mixing with the iron tang of the Mason plantations. The great manor, its columns white but streaked with soot and neglect, sits at the edge of a town obsessed with appearances. Wealth is measured not only in tobacco and land, but in the silent ledger of ownership, who counts and who does not. Inside the house, the shadows move slowly across polished floors. Candles flicker against the walls, casting long, thin silhouettes that tremble like secrets. Servants' quarters are pressed tight against the main hall. Their voices are soft, cautious. Every glance is watched, every step matters. And beneath all this, in the fields and hidden quarters, the names of men and women like Jabari Mansa are scratched from memory. Ownership of bodies, land, and labor is recorded with precision, except when it comes to the inconvenient, the feared, the dangerous. Here, erasure is a tool, a promise of safety for those in power. Records exist for the powerful, they vanish for the rest. And Jabari was someone the ledger could not risk remembering. Jabari Mansa. Tall, sinewed, and quiet, he moves like a shadow across the Mason estate. His hands bear calluses, his eyes bear memory. He speaks little, listens more, calculating. Every motion, every pause is measured. He carries the fear of being seen, the rage of being forgotten, and the unspoken knowledge that survival alone might never be enough. Opposite him is Nathaniel Mason, heir to the sprawling plantation, meticulous and controlling, always adjusting his cufflinks in the reflection of darkened windows. His pride is sharp as a blade, his ambition even sharper. Nathaniel fears rebellion not because it threatens his wealth, but because it threatens the story he tells himself and the world, that order is natural, unchallenged, permanent. Supporting Nathaniel, but only quietly, is the estate steward Elias Crane, a man whose loyalty is measured in silence, in secrecy, in ledger entries that omit Jabari entirely. He walks corridors like a shadow of the master, observing, noting, ensuring that no anomaly, no unsanctioned life disturbs the surface of recorded history. It began with a shipment of tobacco lost to the river, a loss that could ruin the estate financially. Jabari, assigned to oversee the counting, noticed discrepancies that no overseer had yet admitted. Names erased, transfers unrecorded, property, human and otherwise, quietly moved beyond reach. One evening, beneath a single candle in the servants' room, Jabari discovers a ledger fragment. The paper smells of smoke and rot. The ink has bled in places, but there it is, his own name written in error and immediately crossed out. Nathaniel's hand must have done it. The cost of knowing becomes personal in that instant. To speak is to invite danger. To remain silent is to accept erasure. Jabari now holds proof of what no one else can admit. Jabari begins a clandestine audit of the estate. Each day, he moves quietly between warehouses, staircases, and candlelit rooms, tracking erased names, missing payments, and covert transfers of people. He discovers that entire families have disappeared from official rolls, their lives reduced to blank spaces in formal records. A quiet panic settles over him as he realizes the patterns are deliberate. Nathaniel's hand is everywhere, precise, patient, a chess player removing pieces before anyone notices. Jabari witnesses the steward sealing documents, his eyes flicking with suspicion whenever Jabari enters the room. Every ledger entry corrected or hidden, every shadowy transaction confirmed is a nail in the coffin of truth. Late nights bring silence that presses against his skull. He hides in the attic, listening to distant footsteps and the scraping of pen on paper. Exhaustion claws at his muscles, doubt at his mind. He wonders if the risk is worth the fragments of truth he can barely reconstruct. The tension escalates further when he discovers a secret transfer. A group of enslaved people sold to a northern trader. Sold as anonymous labor, their identities deliberately masked. He recognizes a face he knows, though no record admits it. His own heartbeat becomes a countdown. Nathaniel is aware. Jabari feels it in every glance from the hall, every door that clicks shut behind him. A subtle betrayal follows, and a lie among the servants, someone he trusted, delivers him to Nathaniel's scrutiny. Not fully, though. The partial reveal intensifies the risk. Now, knowledge itself is dangerous, the act of remembering punishable. By the 12th minute, Jabari is trapped in a corridor between the steward's office and the main hall, the candle sputtering. Every whisper of paper is amplified. The truth, once a flickering shadow, becomes an unbearable glare. Jabari confronts the final ledger, hidden behind a false panel in the estate's accounting room. It lists every erased name, every transferred family, every secret sale, including his own. The revelation is devastating. Not only has history tried to erase him, it has been systematically rewritten to eliminate his existence entirely. He realizes that no ally can be trusted, no record can be believed, and yet the ledger is proof, however fragile. The victory is hollow. The ledger is small, hidden, possibly doomed to vanish. Jabari knows that even in possession of the truth, he has no power to restore the erased lives. He only carries the memory. For those willing to question the version of history they were given, consider what is left out of the official story and who it benefits. Jabari retreats to the attic once more, hiding the ledger beneath floorboards. Outside, life continues, as Nathaniel walks the halls with measured pride, unaware of the witness to his calculated erasures. The steward, silent as ever, continues his quiet maintenance of the falsified record. Whispers circulate among the enslaved and servants, fragments of what is seen but never spoken aloud. Some knowledge survives in glances, in the careful arrangement of belongings, in silent nods. Others vanish entirely. Official records deny, omit, or mislead. The ledger may vanish as well, leaving nothing but memory. Those willing to face history's hidden ledger must ask themselves what truths remain concealed and how many lives are lost in silence. The candle dies, shadows swallow the room, questions linger. How many Jabari Mansas were erased before him and will ever be? Who decides which names are remembered and which vanish? Can a life truly exist if no ledger will ever acknowledge it? The silence is absolute, except for the faint creak of floorboards where a memory refuses to be forgotten.